Yo yo yo, it's your boy Mr. B bringing you some maths. So we're gonna do practice paper set 6 paper 2H. Let's go. Question 1, so we have a forming and solving equation. So first of all, I'm gonna say that the width is x and the length is x plus 9 because it's 9 centimeters longer. Always make the smaller one into x. From the question we also get that the perimeter has to be less than 200, so we can set up an inequality here. So the perimeter, it's a rectangle, so it's going to have 4 sides. The sides are going to be x, x, x plus 9, x plus 9, and that whole thing has to be smaller than 200. Collect like terms here, you get 4x plus 18 less than 200. Take away 18 from both sides, you get 4x is less than 182. Divide both sides by 4, you get that x is less than 45.5. We're not done yet. The question says what is the greatest possible width of the rectangle, and the question also says it's a whole number of centimeters. Since it's a whole number and it has to be less than 45.5, that means that it has to be 45 centimeters. Next one. It's an averages question. So first we need to find the total for the 6 games. The total is going to be the mean times the number of games, which is 87. Then we find the total for the 7 games, including the extra one, which will be 16 times 7, which is 112. If the total for 7 is 112, the total for 6 is 87, that means that the amount of points for the last game have to be 112 minus 87, which is 25. Question 3. It's a problem-solving question. It's like a logic question. You just have to think about how it would work when you're filling the containers with water. So number 1 is going to start filling up faster because it's smaller at the base, and then it's going to start filling up slower. So that will be the graph on D. Number 2 is going to fill up at a constant rate, so that is graph B. Number 3 is going to start slower, get faster, then get slower again, so that will be graph A. And finally, the last one left over is C, but you can see that it's going to start faster, get slower, then get faster again. Question 4, here we have a bearings/trig question. So first, calculate distance AC, that is just Pythagoras. So AC squared is going to be AB squared plus CB squared. So AC squared is going to be 6 squared plus 4.5 squared. AC is going to be square root of that, and we are on a calculator paper, so you just put in your calculator as is, and AC is going to be 7.5. Part B is bearings with trig, so we're calculating the bearing of C from A. So first we need to find this angle over here, angle CAB. So let's label the triangle. We have adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse. So we're using adjacent and opposite, so we're going to use TOA, T equals O over A. We're using T as a subject because we're finding an angle. So 10x is going to be 4.5 over 6. X is going to be the inverse tan of 4.5 over 6, which is 37. However, that is the angle CAB, but that's not the bearing. The bearing always starts from the north. So the bearing is actually going to be this angle over here, from north all the way to the line AC. To find that, we're going to do 180 plus 37, and the final answer is going to be 217. Question 5, we have some forming and solving with a compound shape and some volume involved. So it's a compound shape. The first thing we need to do, we need to break it into easier shapes of finding the area for. So we're going to break it in those 2 yellow rectangles and the green rectangle at the bottom. For the 2 yellow rectangles, you have sides 2x and x, so the area of them is going to be 2x squared. For the green rectangle, we actually don't have the height, so we have to find it. The height is going to be that part, that side over there. The total height for the face is x plus 2. The height for the yellow rectangle is 2x. So x plus 2 minus 2x is going to give you minus x plus 2. So the height of the rectangle is going to be minus x plus 2. So the area of the green rectangle is going to be 4x minus 1 times minus x plus 2, which gives you minus 4x squared plus 9x minus 2. Now to find the area combined, we need to add the 3 areas. So we're going to get 2x squared plus 2x squared plus minus, so it just ends up being minus 4x squared plus 9x minus 2, which when you collect like terms, the squares disappear and you get 9x minus 2. Now to find the volume, you're going to get 9x minus 2, which is the area of the face, times the depth, which is x plus 1, which is going to give you 9x squared plus 7x minus 2, final answer. Question 6, trick question now. This question showed up in a past paper some time ago, and people were breaking their brains trying to find the area of EFD. But the actual way to go about this is to find the area of the big rectangle and then take away the 3 right angles triangles from it. So let's go. So first we need to find the length of DC. So DC squared is going to be 2 root 10 squared minus 2 squared, because it's not the hypotenuse, so we do hypotenuse minus shorter side. So DC is going to be the square root of that thing, which you put in your calculator and it gives you 6. So DC is 6. If DC is 6, we know that DA is 4 because CF and FB are both 2. And we can also find that AE is 4. Now that is all the information that we need, because now we can find the areas of the triangles. So first, the area of the big rectangle, everything. So the area of the rectangle is going to be 6 times 4, which is 24. Then for the small triangles, the first one, DCF, the area is going to be base times height divided by 2, obviously. So 6 times 2 divided by 2, which is 6. Then DAE is going to be 4 times 4 divided by 2, which is 8. And finally, EFB is going to be 2 times 2 divided by 2, which is 2. So the area of the triangle in the middle is going to be the rectangle minus the 3 triangles, 6, 2, and 8, which will give you 8 centimeters squared. Question 7 is an error interval question using the half AB sine C formula. So first, A is 7.8 to the nearest millimeter, so the lower bound is going to be 7.75. The upper bound is going to be 7.85. B is 5.2 to the nearest millimeter, so the lower bound is going to be 5.15. The upper bound is going to be 5.25. C is 63 to the nearest degree, so the lower bound is going to be 62.5. The upper bound is going to be 63.5. We want to find the lower bound for the area, so since we're multiplying everything, we're going to use all lower bounds. So the area is going to be half times 7.75 times 5.15 times sine of 62.5, which will give me 17.7 centimeters squared. 8. A scatter graph. First is asking me what type of correlation it shows. So all the data points are kind of going together down from left to right. So that is a negative correlation. Then estimate the maximum speed for the car if the car goes to 0 to 60 in 11 seconds. So first we need to draw a line of best fit, which mine kind of looks alright. Remember to try to make it kind of the same distance between the points as much as you can. Then we're going to go up from 11 seconds, see where that leads us on the y-axis. So I got 121 miles per hour. If your line of best fit was slightly different, you might have gotten something similar, but as long as you did your line of best fit, you should be getting full marks. Question 9, we have a simultaneous equations question. So first let's set up the equations. 4 cups of coffee and 3 tea is 6.95, 5 coffees and 2 teas are 7.20. Now we can't add or subtract because we don't have matching coefficients, so let's get that first. I'm going to multiply the top one by 2, which gives me 8c plus 6t equals 13.9. I'm going to multiply the bottom one by 3, which gives me 15c plus 6t equals 21.6. Now that the t's are matching, I can actually subtract. 8c minus 15c is going to give me minus 7c equals to 13.9 minus 21.6, which is minus 7.7. Remember to be consistent. If you're doing top minus bottom, you're doing that for every term. Divide both sides by minus 7 and you get that c is 1.1. Now that I got c equals 1.1, I need to substitute it into one of the originals. I chose 5c plus 3t, so 4 open brackets plus 3t equals 695. Substitute 1.1, I get that 4.4 plus 3t equals 695. Take away 4.4 from both sides, I get that 3t is 2.55. Divide both sides by 3, I get that t is equal to 0.85. Question 10, I have an exponential equations question here, but it's actually much simpler than it looks. It's basically just getting values from the graph and substituting it in to find the value of k. So I know that y is k to the power of x, so x is in the power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out from the graph what is the value of y when x is minus 1, so with the value of k to the minus 1. So what I do is I go to the graph where x is minus 1, I go to where it touches the curve, and then I go to the y-axis. So k to the minus 1, how I can see from the graph, is 2. Now I just need to do a little bit of solving. K to the minus 1 is 2. Remember, when you have a negative power, you flip the fraction. That means that 1 over k is equal to 2. Then that's simple solving. Times both sides by k, I get that 1 is equal to 2k. Divide both sides by 2, I get that k is equal to a half. Question 11, a proportion unit conversion question, a really annoying one. The main idea here is you can only compare two amounts if they are in the same units. So you need to put the amounts in the same units. I'm going to change how much Sam pays. If you change how much Leon pays, that doesn't matter, but I'm gonna go with Sam. So Sam pays $20.88 for 6 gallons. So first of all, 6 gallons, I'm going to change that into liters. 6 gallons is equal to 6 times 3.79, because the question gives us the conversion. So 6 gallons is 22.74 liters. Now I'm going to go from dollars to rubles, but to do that, because the question is annoying, I have to change it into euros first. So $20.88 is equal to $20.88 times 0.77 equals 16.0776 euros. Don't overround it at this point, just leave it to the end. From euros to rubles, 16.0776 euros is going to be, you times that by 40.63, which is the conversion, and that's going to give me 653.232888 rubles. Now I have in liters and rubles, I can compare it with Leon. So Sam pays the amount of rubles that he pays, we found before, divided by the amount of liters. He pays 28.726 rubles per liter. Leon pays, now Leon, I just have to look at the question. He pays 800 rubles for 25.58 liters. So that will give me 31.27 rubles per liter. So petrol is cheaper in the US. If you went with Leon to dollars, that's fine. Just make sure that everything is in the same units by the time you compare. Question 12, pretty simple. Probability, filling up a probability tree. The legs have to add up to 1, so I know that on the first leg I have 0.3. Then I'm going to have 0.3, 0.7, and 0.3. Do pay attention if the probability changes between tries. In this case it's a spinner, so the probability doesn't change. If it did, you might have to adapt on the second spin, but that's not the case here. Part B, work out the probability that the spinner lands in 2 different colors. So the scenarios that work for me here are green-red and red-green. Those are the 2 scenarios with 2 different colors. Find the probability for each one. So probability for green-red is going to be 0.7 times 0.3, which is 0.21. The probability for red-green is going to be 0.3 times 0.7, which is also 0.21. So the probability for 2 different colors is going to be 0.21 plus 0.21, which is 0.42. Question 13, a forming and solving question, kinda involving area of a trapezium. So first things first, area of a trapezium is a plus b over 2 times the height, where a and b are the parallel sides. In this case, AB and DC. Let's do some substitution. So first, 4, which is the first parallel side, plus k, the other parallel side, over 2 times the height, which is root 3, has to be equal to 5 root 6. Now is a complicated-ish solving, but not really. It's also a calculator paper, so you can just use your calculator to help you. We need to get rid of everything and make k subject to formula. So first I'm going to divide by root 3, which will give me 4 plus k over 2 equals to 5 root 6 divided by root 3. You can actually divide the numbers inside of the surds, is 5 root 2. Then I'm going to times those sides by 2. That will give me 4 plus k equals 10 root 2. Then I'm going to take away 4 from both sides, and that gives me k equals 10 root 2 minus 4. Final answer. Question 15, we have kind of a proof / algebraic fractions questions, just a lot of legwork. In terms of proof, it's not that bad. First we need to expand both brackets. So first one, n plus 2 squared is going to be n squared plus 4n plus 4. I'm not going to do the legwork because we will run out of space, end of time. Then n plus 1 squared, the second bracket on the numerator, is going to be n squared plus 2n plus 1. Now the thing that a lot of people get wrong here, the minus before the bracket n plus 1 squared will affect things a lot. So be careful when you have a minus before a bracket. Because what we're doing here, n plus 2 squared minus n plus 1 squared is going to be equal to what I got for n plus 2 squared, which is n squared plus 4n plus 4, minus, I'm going to use a bracket to help me here, n squared plus 2n plus 1. That is going to give me n squared plus 4n plus 1 minus n squared minus 2n minus 1. The minus outside affects every single term inside of the bracket. Collect like terms here, and I get 2n plus 3. Then, with the numerator, I need to do a little bit of factorizing because this is algebraic fractions. So 2n squared plus 3n is going to be equal to n, which is the highest common factor, open brackets, divide by n. So 2n squared divided by n is 2n. 3n plus 3n divided by n is plus 3. Now that I have everything worked out, I can put it back into my original question. So n plus 2 squared minus n plus 1 squared over 2n squared plus 3n is equal to, the numerator is going to be 2n plus 3, the denominator is n bracket 2n plus 3. As you probably can see now, I can do some simplifying, so cancel out the 2n plus 3 top and bottom, and I get 1 over n, which is what the question asked me to do. Question 16, a subject of formula question. So first, always get rid of the denominator if you can. So I'm going to multiply both sides by r minus 3. That will give me p bracket r minus 3 is equal to 2r plus 5. I'm going to expand the bracket here, so rp minus 3p is equal to 2r plus 5. Then I'm going to add 3p to both sides, so I'm trying to get everything else to the right and all the r's to the left. Add 3p to both sides, I get rp is equal to 2r plus 5 plus 3p. I'm going to take away 2r from both sides, and that's going to give me rp minus 2r is equal to 5 plus 3p. Then I have to factorize r out because I'm trying to make r subject to formula. So I get r bracket p minus 2 equals 5 plus 3p. Divide both sides by p minus 2, and I get r equals to 5 plus 3p over p minus 2. Question 17, a transformation of graphs question. This time I've been given the transformation and it's asking me to write down, in terms of f, the equation of graph g. So let's choose 2 points and see what is happening here. So that point over there became that point over there, which is a change of 5 in the x-axis. Let me double check with another point. So that point in the bottom became that point at the bottom, which is also a change of 5 in the x-axis, so it matches up. So a change of plus 5 in the x-axis. Remember, with transformations of graphs, whenever we're dealing with the x-axis, the change is always the opposite of what is inside the bracket. So in our case, f of x is going to become f of x minus 5. Question 17b. The maximum point is minus 4 and 3. Write down the coordinates of the maximum point of f of minus x. So if I have f of minus x, I'm going to change the x sign for the coordinates. So minus 4, 3 becomes 4 minus 3. Final answer. Question 18. I have a instantaneous rate of change. Jesus, I started with that. Instantaneous rate of change question. Work out an estimate for the acceleration at t8. So what I have to do is I have to use my ruler and draw a tangent at 8 as best I can. There you go. Then I have to find the gradient of that tangent using rise over run. I chose those 2 points, so x6 and x10. I always try to use points that are easy with x to make my life easier. So I draw the little triangle and I find my rise over run. So for me, my rise is 6 and my run is 4. Now I need to find the gradient of that. The gradient is going to be changing y over changing x, or rise over run, which in my case is 6 over 4, which simplifies to 1.5. Then it's asking me for the distance the parachute falls in the first 6 seconds. So distance now is trapezium rule, so I need to break down the area between the curve, under the curve, between those 2 points. So I'm going to break down into this triangle, which the area is, for me, I got 20 as the height times 2 divided by 2, which is 20. Kind of worked out nicely. Then I have this trapezium over here. We did area of trapezium before in this paper. So the area is going to be the parallel sides. So I got 20 and 35 divided by 2 times the height, which gives me 55. And then the green trapezium, the area is going to be the parallel sides, which I got 35 and 46, checking the values on the y-axis, divided by 2 times 2, which gives me 81. So the total area, which will be the estimate for the distance, is going to be 20 plus 55 plus 81, which is 156. Question 19, we have a proportion question. So first I'm going to set up a table here. I have S and I have T cubed. Remember, if something is squared, cubed, square rooted, that means that all the elements on that column have to do the same. So when S is a half, T is 4, so 4 cubed. Find the value of S when T is 8, so I'm going to do 8 cubed. It's inversely proportional, so I'm going to multiply in a parallel, and then I'm going to set up a little equation. S times 8 cubed is going to be equal to half times 4 cubed. So that means that S times 8 cubed is going to be equal to, you have a calculator, 32. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8 cubed. You have a calculator again, and that should give me 32 divided by 8 cubed, which is 1/16. Question 20, an equation of a line here. So we need to find the equation of a line perpendicular to line N that passes through that point. So perpendicular means that we need to find the negative reciprocal of the gradient of line N. So first we need to find the gradient. We choose 2 points, we draw a little triangle, and we find a run and a rise. So the gradient is going to be 6/2, which is 3. So the gradient of the perpendicular, we need to find the negative reciprocal, so 3 becomes -1/3. So we know that my line is y equals -1/3x plus c, and it goes through the point 0, 1. Now normally what you would do here is you would substitute 0, 1 into the equation and find it. However, if you think about it a bit, the point 0, 1 is special because what happens when you have an x value of 0? Whenever you have an x value of 0, you have your y-intercept. So the question already gave us our y-intercept. If you substitute them into the equation, you're going to get the same thing, but the y-intercept here is 1. So the final equation is y equals -1/3x plus 1. And then question 21, it's a problem-solving question. It's not really equation of a line, even though it looks like equation of a line. It's just about reading the question carefully, highlighting things, and working it out. So first, the information that we have is that AC is 4 times AB. So AC is 4 times bigger than AB. So that means that the distance from A to C is 4 times bigger than the distance from A to B. This is basically the only information we need to break down the whole question, because look, for the x values, we are going to use points A and point B. So from A to B, the x values are 2 and 4. So the distance between the points is 2. If the distance between A and B is 2, the distance between A and C has to be 8. Got it? Keep that information. On the y-axis, I'm actually going to use A and C. So A, the y value is 5, C, the y value is 17. So the distance between them is 12 from A to C, which means that the distance between A to B has to be 4 times smaller, which is 3. With that information, I can find P and C. So Q is going to be a distance of 8 from the x value of A. So Q is going to be 8 plus 2, which is 10. And P is going to be a distance of 3 from the y value of A. So P is going to be 5 plus 3, which is 8. All done. That's it for this paper. Hope you had the time of your lives and you really enjoy your weekend doing the paper instead of doing something else. See you next time.